Alberni.
Madam Speaker, good evening. I'm here tonight, Madam Speaker, to urge the federal government to make the establishment of a sovereign aerial firefighting capacity fleet a core nation-building investment in the upcoming federal budget. Madam Speaker, wildfires across Canada are increasing in both intensity and cost, demanding bold and timely action. Madam Speaker, we saw fires rage across Alberta, rage across Saskatchewan and Manitoba, Nova Scotia and Newfoundland this last summer. And this past season may not have been a record season for British Columbia in terms of fire, Madam Speaker, but it was certainly a record, Madam Speaker, in terms of the extraordinary level of equipment loaned from British Columbia to other provinces to help them. And I want to congratulate and thank the province of British Columbia, Minister Ravi Parmar, the Minister of Forests, for prioritizing homes and people's lives in other provinces to ensure that their lives were protected and that BC loaned equipment in a timely way. But, Madam Speaker, that reality underlines the urgency. Without a national air tanker fleet, provinces are left to shoulder the cost of aviation resources with no guarantee they'll be available when and where they need it most. And, Madam Speaker, combating wildfires in the climate crisis era requires a wartime level of effort. Other nations have demonstrated that repurposing retired military aircraft into civilian firefighting roles provides exactly the kind of rapid response capability and national resilience that Canada currently lacks. Canada has a rare opportunity to follow this proven model by converting our retired CC-130H Hercules fleet into modern air tankers. We can protect communities, safeguard critical infrastructure, and reduce the catastrophic carbon emissions released during megafires. This approach would also ensure that retired military assets continue to serve Canadians in peacetime through life-saving civilian use. Partnering with the private sector and First Nations to retrofit a portion of the retired CC-130 Hercules fleet would create a permanent national capacity to fight wildfires. And a Port-Alberni-based company in my riding, Coulson Aviation, they've already demonstrated global expertise, Madam Speaker, in converting and operating CC-130 aircraft as large air tankers, successfully partnering with governments in Australia, the United States, and beyond. I therefore, Madam Speaker, I'm calling on the federal government to partner with the private sector in collaboration with First Nations partners to retrofit a portion of Canada's retired CC-130H Hercules aircraft into large air tankers for wildfire suppression. To deploy these aircraft as part of a strengthened national wildfire response capacity shared with provinces and territories, and where appropriate, used for international humanitarian and emergency missions. To prioritize this made-in-Canada solution that leverages Canadian aviation expertise, protects lives and communities, and safeguards the environment. In addition to strengthening our wildfire response, these investments, Madam Speaker, would create high-skilled jobs in Canada's aviation sector, support innovation in emergency response technology, and enhance Canada's ability to contribute to our NATO commitments and provide mutual aid abroad in times of crisis. So I'll finish, Madam Speaker, and then I'm strongly encouraging the Minister and this government to ensure that funding for sovereign aerial firefighting capacity is included in the next federal budget. We can't wait, Madam Speaker. Such an investment will save lives, strengthen our communities, and build long-term resilience for Canada in the face of this climate crisis. The cost of investing in this aerial firefighting fleet is it far outweighs the investment to do that, Madam Speaker, instead of what we're facing right now, which is a massive loss in biodiversity, cost to infrastructure, private property, driving up our home insurance and business insurance, Madam Speaker, the impact on the forest sector and industry, the release of emissions. Canada is the worst in the world right now in release of emissions due to wildfire. The impact on people's lives and homes and human health is unprecedented, Madam Speaker, and of course the impact on Indigenous peoples, Madam Speaker. This is an act of reconciliation. So, Madam Speaker, when it comes to nation building, we're calling on the government to treat this with the wartime effort that's required. And, Madam Speaker, I hope that we'll see that in this upcoming federal budget.